In the quiet suburbs of Salford, Greater Manchester, a 95-year-old woman opened her door to what seemed like a harmless inquiry. Instead, she was bound, threatened, and robbed in her own home. The suspect? An 80-year-old man from nearby Worsley, arrested the next day. This case, verified from Greater Manchester police statements, BBC News, ITV News, The Telegraph, and Sky News reports dated January 28 to 30, 2026, has shocked the UK. Edwin Morrison faces charges of attempted robbery, false imprisonment, intentional strangulation, and common assault. This incident highlights the vulnerability of the elderly and how age doesn't preclude criminality. Psychologically, it's a stark reminder that offenders can be anyone, even those we least suspect. Today, we explore the facts, delve into the psychology of late-life crime, and profile what might drive an octogenarian to such an act, hoping to understand how to prevent future horrors. To grasp the shock of this home invasion, we must first immerse ourselves in Salford, Greater Manchester, a city of contrasts in 2026. Salford, with a population of around 270,000, is a vibrant part of the Greater Manchester conurbation, known for its industrial heritage, the BBC at Media City UK, and cultural landmarks like the Lowry Theatre. Verified from sources like the Office for National Statistics and BBC News reports, it's a place where Victorian terraced houses coexist with modern apartments, and community spirit remains strong despite economic challenges. Little Hulton, the site of the crime, is a working-class suburb in Salford, quiet streets lined with semi-detached homes, local shops, and parks. As confirmed by the Telegraph and Sky News articles from January 28, 2026, it's not a high-crime area, but like many UK suburbs, it faces issues with burglary and antisocial behaviour, exacerbated by the cost-of-living crisis. The victim, a 95-year-old woman living alone, represents the growing elderly population in the UK, over 11 million people aged 65 plus, per ONS data, many of whom are isolated and vulnerable to exploitation. Worsley, where the suspect lived on Manchester Road, is just a short drive away, a more affluent village with canals and green spaces. This proximity adds to the case's eeriness. The alleged offender was practically a neighbor. In my thoughts, this setting underscores how crime can strike in the most ordinary places. Psychologically, home invasions target the sanctity of one's safe space, triggering deep fear. Research from the British Journal of Criminology, 2023 study on elderly victimization, shows that seniors are often chosen for their perceived weakness, leading to long-term trauma like PTSD. Opinion-wise, in an aging society like the UK, this case calls for better community support, perhaps more neighbourhood watch programs or smart home security for the elderly. The incident unfolded on January 27, 2026. As per GMP's official statement and BBC News, the man allegedly entered the woman's property in Little Hulton by asking about her bin collection day, a seemingly innocuous question that disarmed her. Once inside, he tied her hands together and demanded cash and her purse. Thankfully, no physical injuries were reported beyond the tying, but the emotional toll is unimaginable. Let's now dive into the arrest and the man behind the mugshot. The response from Greater Manchester Police was swift and decisive. As verified from GMP's official website statement on January 28, 2026, and corroborated by BBC News, ITV News, The Telegraph, Sky News, and Yahoo News UK, officers were called to the woman's home in Little Hulton on January 27 after the incident. The 95-year-old victim reported that a man had entered her property, tied her hands, and threatened her while demanding money. No items were taken, making it an attempted robbery, but the psychological harm was profound. Overnight inquiries led to a warrant execution the next day at an address on Manchester Road in Worsley, about 10 miles away. There, they arrested Edwin Morrison, an 80-year-old local resident. Morrison was charged with 2 counts of false imprisonment, attempted robbery, intentional strangulation, and common assault. He appeared at Manchester Magistrates Court on January 30, 2026, where he was remanded in custody ahead of a Crown Court hearing on March 6. From police statements in Sky News and The Telegraph, the intruder gained entry by posing as a window cleaner or asking about bin collection day, a tactic to build trust. Once inside, he bound her hands, possibly with rope or ties, and made demands for cash. The victim was left shaken but unharmed physically, and GMP emphasized it's an isolated incident with no wider threat. In my opinion, this case is particularly disturbing because it exploits the trust elderly people often place in everyday interactions. Psychologically, home invasions like this can lead to hypervigilance and isolation, as per a 2024 Age UK report on elder abuse, where victims report long-term anxiety and depression. The use of strangulation, even if not leading to injury, is a control tactic seen in domestic violence studies, Journal of Interpersonal Violence, 2023, indicating a desire for dominance. Profiling the potential attacker, based on verified details and general criminological research, Edwin Morrison fits an unusual mold. At 80, he's far older than typical robbery suspects, average age 25 to 35 per UK crime survey. Psychological profiles from the American Psychological Association's 2022 study on late-life offenders suggest such individuals may act out of desperation, financial strain, loneliness, or cognitive decline. Opinion-wise, if guilty, this could stem from opportunity crime in a familiar area, perhaps exacerbated by age-related impulsivity or undiagnosed dementia, as discussed in the British Journal of Psychiatry, 2021, on elderly criminality. The community's reaction has been one of shock, as per local interviews in ITV News. Neighbors in Worsley described Morrison as quiet, making the arrest even more jarring. This highlights how predators can hide in plain sight. Let's explore the broader implications for elder safety in the UK. This Salford incident is not isolated in the context of elder abuse in the UK. Verified from the Office for National Statistics Crime Survey for England and Wales, 2025 data, and Age UK's 2026 report, over 200,000 elderly people experience abuse annually, with burglary and robbery rates rising 15% in urban areas like Greater Manchester. Salford, with its mix of affluent and deprived wards, sees higher than average home invasions, as per GMP crime stats. The psychological impact on victims is profound. A 95-year-old woman, already potentially dealing with isolation, per NHS data, 1 in 4 seniors live alone, now faces heightened fear. Studies from the Journal of Elder Abuse and Neglect, 2023, show that such traumas can lead to accelerated cognitive decline, depression, and even reduced life expectancy. In my opinion, this case underscores a societal failure, cuts to social services, as reported in The Guardian, January 2026, leave the elderly more exposed. Profiling further, if Morrison is the perpetrator, his age suggests late-onset offending. Psychological research from the University of Manchester's 2024 study on geriatric criminals indicates factors like financial desperation, post-pension poverty, or untreated mental health issues. Opinion-wise, strangulation points to a need for power, perhaps from feeling powerless in old age, as per Freudian theories adapted in modern criminology, e.g. control-seeking in vulnerable populations. Broader thoughts, this highlights the need for better safeguards, mandatory door cameras for seniors, community alerts, or AI monitoring apps. In the US and UK, similar cases, e.g. 2025 London elder robbery wave, show prevention through education works. The investigation continues, with GMP praising the victim's bravery. The Salford community has rallied, with neighbours expressing shock in ITV News interviews. Det Inc. Paul Davies of GMP, quoted in their January 28 statement, called the incident shocking and praised the rapid arrest. Prevention is key. Age UK recommends no cold caller zones and buddy systems. Psychologically, building resilience through social connections reduces vulnerability, per a 2025 Lancet study on elder mental health. In my final opinion, this case calls for policy changes, better funding for elder protection services. The profile of an elderly offender reminds us crime knows no age. The Salford home invasion leaves lingering questions about safety and human nature. As Edwin Morrison awaits trial, we hope for justice and change. If you have information on similar cases, contact GMP. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.